Let me just start by saying that, we had originally booked Shane to come on the show and, just talk about the news and stuff. And then I get a text message because, James just dropped this very big story about a whistleblower coming out from Pfizer. And we were like, okay, I guess we're going to just throw this thing together. But just to, I guess, not mince any words, do you want to tell us what this story's about? And
Yeah, this is a whistleblower, current employee at Pfizer. Melissa is her name, and she took screenshots of some emails from executives at Pfizer, including Vanessa Gelman, Senior Director, Worldwide Research. And in these emails, the pharmaceutical executives say, quote, one or more cell lines with an origin that can be traced back to human fetal tissue has been used in laboratory tests associated with the vaccine program. Now, some of this is public knowledge in that fetal cells are used. But what's interesting about these emails is that all these executives at Pfizer are saying to each other, let's not tell people that that's true. And I'm going to quote the email here. Quote, we want to avoid having the information on fetal cells floating out there. We want to avoid, this is a direct quote, the risk of communicating this right now outweighs any potential benefit we see. And they say to hide this information public. So investigative reporting is always about making public what people want to keep secret. So my question is, why are these pharmaceutical executives in their emails trying so hard to keep this information secret? And this outraged the whistleblower so much that this woman went public yesterday night with Project Veritas on the record. She's currently employed by Pfizer. Probably the first time anyone has ever done this, sort of expose the pharmaceutical industry. Everyone says I should be worried about this, but this whistleblower has informed me that a lot of people at Pfizer agree with her, and we're looking forward to more Pfizer employees coming out.
Now, here's the interesting thing. We have this, I pulled this up earlier in the day on a different segment, Children's Hospital Philadelphia, that says vaccine ingredients, fetal cells. And all of these, there's a whole bunch of articles that are like certified fact check say, no, there's no fetal cells in the vaccines. Don't worry about it.
Right.
No, the issue is they use them in manufacturing or the testing of the vaccine. So you're not getting injected with it. But in order to make them, to do the tests, they are using them. Now, there's a couple of really interesting things as it relates to your story. The first thing is, this website from the Children's Hospital Philadelphia mentions that the Janssen vaccine, the J&J vaccine, does use viruses grown in fetal cells, but that's the only one. It doesn't mention Pfizer. So I don't think we had any confirmation that Pfizer was actually using fetal cells.
We do have states, and I'm reading from the state of California, says, quote, Pfizer does not require the use of any fetal cells in order to manufacture, produce the vaccine. So this would be a direct contradiction. What the executives... Yep, go ahead.
Well, in the manufacture of this was in the lab tests,
laboratory tests. Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like, one of the things I mentioned to people earlier in the day was we're going to end up seeing a congressional hearing where you're going to get some Republican going like, what's this Project Veritas report I hear where you're using fetal cell tissues in the production of this vaccine? And they'll say, we do not use any fetal cells in any capacity manufacturing this vaccine. It is fake news. They're online conspiracies. Oh, we did do tests using them to get to the point where we could make the vaccine.
Laboratory tests.
Right.
So what you're saying is they're going to sort of do a non sequitur and say, well, we don't use it to put it in the vaccine that goes in your body. But two things can be true. They can use it in laboratory tests and also not use it in the production.
And they'll twist it. So I imagine this. You'll get a Rand Paul or whatever being like, we have a report from Veritas that laboratory tests in the production of the vaccine.
And they'll change the subject.
Exactly.
Right.
They'll change something and say, we do not manufacture the vaccine with fetal cells. That's not true. And then when the Republican, if any of the Republicans actually do question this, will either miss the manipulation or not have enough time to follow up. And that's the political game they'll play. So I do think it's particularly fascinating. But I will add to, on top of all of that, just from this article from chop.edu, when they mention why they use fetal cells, this is what that really got me. They said, it's because fetal cells can typically divide more times than any other cells. They say in fetal cells, it is around 50 divisions they can make. Other cells can only divide substantially less because they're older cells.
Right.
So it sounds to me like it would just be an inconvenience to use cells that aren't from aborted fetal tissue, but they're making a cost-effective decision that it's cheaper and more effective.
Right. And this is another quote from the email here from Vanessa Gelman, Senior Director, Worldwide Research. These are not low-level employees, Tim. Sometimes we get criticized for going after mid-level. No, these are high-level people here. Vanessa Gelman saying, quote, general members of the public who may take this information and use it in ways we may not want it out there. Avoid raising this as possible. What's interesting about these Pfizer emails is they also talk about Facebook. They say we don't want this information on Facebook. which is deeply ironic given all the censorship occurring about our videos are being taken off Facebook. So these executives are so concerned about people knowing this information that the cells are used in the development of the vaccine.